So WoW's 20th anniversary has some of the most sought after cosmetics we've seen in a long time in the updated tier 2 sets. So in this video, I want to go over how you can go about getting every single one of these armor sets in a single day. Now, if you want to get all of these armor sets in a singular day, it would be quite grindy, but using this method, you should easily be able to get all of these armor sets throughout the course of a single week without really needing to put a ton of grinding. This method is very easy now, and it's not only very easy, but you're able to do a lot of this farming on characters as low level as level 30. Now, there's two pieces that make this farm incredibly strong, incredibly easy, and able to be done this early. Now, the first piece of this is that pretty much all of the token acquisition for the 20th anniversary got a massive buff this week. You've probably seen this, but a lot of the weekly objectives that give you tokens now just give you like 400% more. And this is primarily focused on all of the Khaz-Algar weekly objectives or of the War Within weekly objectives. So going down the list, pretty much any weekly objective you'd be doing in the War Within, and that's specific to the War Within, not specific to the 20th anniversary, is just going to give you a lot more tokens. Your first weekly theater troop gives you 8 tokens. Your Awakening the Machine gives you 8 tokens. Your Wax collection gives you 8 tokens. The Spreading the Light event gives you 8 tokens. Your Severed Thread weekly gives you 8 tokens. You can do 2 special assignments a week. Both you can kill a weekly world boss in Khaz-Algar for 8 tokens. The weekly PvP quests give 8 tokens up to 15 tokens. And then at the highest point, you have something like killing Queen Ansarek, which will give you 15 tokens as well. And as always, you're able to do that in LFR difficulty. So you could go queue up, kill Queen Ansarek, and get a large chunk of the tokens you were able to get from doing like everything in the first week. And with all of these buffs, you're able to get 140 tokens just from the Khaz-Algar weekly objectives. Now, to do the farm we're specifically talking about in this video, you only need to get up to 100 tokens total across your account. Because once you get to that 100 token mark, you'll get the Token Collector achievement. Now, this unlocks you the ability to get tokens from repeatable content from 20th anniversary content. So doing things like time walking dungeons or the Codex of Chromie scenario or killing any of the 20th anniversary world bosses. Any of the things specific to the 20th anniversary will now be able to drop repeatable tokens once you get this achievement. So whether you've been keeping up with your tokens from week 1 or you didn't do anything in week 1, the first part of this is I would recommend just go do all of those Khaz-Algar weeklies you can. You can stop at the 100 tokens and do the next part of the farm, or you can go do all of the objectives, get all of the tokens, because that's still a lot of tokens per weekly done, and most of those weeklies are generally really quick. So I'll definitely recommend going and doing all of them or most of the more easy ones. After you've done that, after you've gotten the Token Collector achievement, that'll bring you into the second part of the farm, which is where you're going to get the rest of your tokens to be able to get every single one of the tier 2 cosmetic sets. And to put it simply, you're just going to be farming the Blackrock Depths raid on LFR difficulty. Because once you get the Token Collector achievement, killing any of the main bosses in any difficulty of the Blackrock Depths raid will give you 3 tokens, and killing any of the mini bosses on any difficulty gives you 2 tokens. And with the raid consisting of 8 main bosses and 5 mini bosses, that means you can get a total of 34 tokens for a full clear of the raid. Now, you can also go do this raid on every difficulty on one character, so you could go get 102 tokens if you could clear it on every difficulty on one character. But what's much easier to do is just to go on a bunch of different characters and clear the raid on LFR difficulty. Because even if you had like a guild group or something doing this on normal and heroic difficulty, it's still going to be faster just to do it on LFR. But there are a few ways to where you can make this substantially easier, and if you're somebody that doesn't have a ton of, say, max level alts, you will still be able to do a lot of runs of this, because the Blackrock Depths raid done on LFR difficulty can be queued up for by any character level 30 and up. So any lower level characters that hit level 30, which is very fast to do right now, because of all the experience buffs you can get, can now just queue up for this and go earn those 34 tokens. And not only that, but because of the scaling in here, a lot of those lower level characters are going to end up being potentially some of the strongest in the raid. So even if you're just leveling up characters, getting them to 30, then jumping into LFR and say maybe having some like heirlooms on, you'll be pretty strong. You at least won't be like a hindrance to the raid. But something you can do that's even better than this is if you are somebody that played a ton of WoW Remix and have a ton of characters sitting at level 70, or if you just even have a bunch of your level 70 alts that have raid gear or are even better geared than the Remix characters, any of those characters at level 70 with even slightly decent gear are going to be incredibly overpowered. So just specifically looking at the characters you got to level 70 in WoW Remix and then they transferred over to main account characters, all of those characters have, I think it's 476 gear. And even at that point, which 476 gear wasn't even that good for Dragonflight, but even at that point, you're ridiculously strong in this raid on that level 70 character. I went and did this on a Restoration Druid. I was always in top 5 damage, and just putting a Rejuvenate on somebody would basically fully heal anybody no matter what level they are. So I was topping healing, sitting in top 5 damage the whole time, and since I was queuing up as a healer, these queues took no time at all. Pretty much all of them took under a minute. And this will get even crazier if you have a bunch of level 70 characters that you just haven't leveled up yet that are still geared from Dragonflight. Those characters will be substantially more strong, because let's say you have a bunch of gear from playing in like season 4 of Dragonflight on a level 70. That character could potentially be like 50 or more item levels above that Remix character. So your power is going to be absolutely absurd. In fact, I got in a queue with somebody like that and they were doing like 99% of the entire raid's damage in our LFR runs. So you can also get stuff like that where you're just going to do this substantially faster than pretty much any other character would be able to. But again, even though those geared 70 characters can be super fast at this, you can still do this on any character 30 and above. And if you want to also get some more use out of these runs, you can also run this on all of your level 80 characters and also get a bunch of Warbound gear for any other alts you're going to be getting up to level 80. I did a video going over this, but running pretty much any difficulty the Blackrock Depths raid gives you a ridiculous amount of Warbound gear, and Warbound gear is an additional personal loot roll on top of your normal loot. So specifically when going into like LFR, you're just going to do like a full LFR clear and come out with a handful of pieces of gear that are all Warbound, and you're just able to save them for any other characters you get up to level 80. So that's a way you can get some additional use out of farming this for all of your tokens. And also keep in mind that if you haven't bought any of the tier 2 sets yet, they get price reductions after your first 2 buys. So all of the tier 2 sets are 60 tokens, but once you buy one, you get an achievement that makes all of the others cost 40. And after you buy that second, you get another achievement that makes all of the additional sets you buy cost 20. So completing 2 of the LFR wings will actually give you a little bit more than you need for one of the tier sets once you've already bought in 2 of them. So putting that into that perspective, it is actually very quick to farm any of these tier sets you want after you've gotten the achievement to where you can just spam run Blackrock Depths on LFR difficulty to get all of these tokens and to get every cosmetic you want from this event. If you want to grind a lot, you can get pretty much every cosmetic for the 20th anniversary from the tokens in a singular day. And also keep in mind, after you've bought on all the cosmetics for tokens, you can turn in these tokens into timed warp badges. I think it's 1 token for 20 time warp badges. So if you want to keep doing this, it could also be a pretty decent way to get time warp badges as well. But that's pretty much all I want to go over. So thanks for watching.